Mic check.
Mic check.
So I apologize that we're late tonight, and I also apologize that we don't have sound. Our mic is not working, but anyway, that's not going to stop us. And this is West Wednesday, week 652. We've been out here continuously fighting for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, not just him, but all the victims of police policy and murder. And we felt compelled with the recent tragedies that's happening in the news. We're right here in front of the commissioner, the top district, and for me to hear last night that another person was murdered. We had two shooters in 1 week. One literally, the person survived, I believe, but then yesterday was a fatality. And that's what bothered me. And then if that wasn't enough, I even saw where they were chasing someone in like a U-Haul truck and it was a terrible crash. So all related to their messages. And the only thing that Worthless Woolley can come out, and this is not the West Coalition, this is me calling them that. Only thing that Worthless Woolley can come out and say, no compassionate to families, no compassionate about the city being in the upward with police brutality. Only thing he can just say, well, if they would have cooperated, that's his answer. Well, if they would have cooperated. What about the ones that did cooperate? That's his tone. Well, Tyrone West cooperated. I'll get that mic later. I don't even want it right now. I'm sorry. I'm pissed. Wow, when Tyrone West cooperated on July the 18th, 2013, when he was working for Northeast District, when he did nothing. My brother cooperated with his hands out the window, turned on the console in my vehicle and whatnot. He did all of that, and he still was executed. One unarmed man. They told lies, and we're still out here. 652 weeks later. And the only thing that Worthless Woolley could say was, well, all they had to do was cooperate. I don't want to hear that. My brother cooperated, he's not here.
Right.
I cooperate with protesting peacefully, and y'all keep messing with me. And I'm sick of it. I had to pull up today to my home with my trunk popped open for no reason. Now, mysteriously, 2 hours, 10 minutes after I leave my house, mysteriously, my trunk pops open, and the first thing I see is Tyrone West's picture right there, my protest sign. I was so disrupted, I didn't even bring it with me tonight. But I don't care what y'all do. Hear me out, hear me clear. If 652 weeks don't show you that I'm not going nowhere, that I'm not going into the track that y'all trying to set for me, it's not going to work. A weapon may fall, but it will not prosper. I promise you. I promise you. Because anyone that knows Tawanda Jones knows that I'm a hard worker. I'm not on any drugs. I'm not losing my mind. Because if I was going to lose my mind, I would have lost my mind almost a decade ago when you murdered my brother, one unarmed man. And the stuff that y'all did to him was horrific. The stuff that y'all did, and to have the medical examiner's office back y'all foolishness, that would have made anyone go crazy. But I'm not, because I'm boots on the ground, and I'm going to make sure that the truth comes out no matter what. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to constantly, consistently keep on fighting. Y'all put a bunch of bogus tickets on my car to restrict me from driving. And now I'm not driving. You're still messing with my vehicle. But I don't care what y'all do. Y'all not going to stop me. But the fact that a life was taken, the only thing you say, oh, they were shooting at my officers and all they had to do was comply. What about the people that did comply? You comply, you die. You don't comply, you die.
There you go.
It's Russian roulette. Whatever y'all want to do, our blood is on your hands, Worthless Woolley. And I'm glad my sister had brought it out to my attention that since you been here, the top cop, we had you had the most police brutality history ever that we've seen. And we know even before you stepped in here, we stood up at town hall meetings. Oh, and speaking of town hall meetings, every time I went, my car tires were slashed. And not only my car tires, you slashed the guy, Ben, car tires as well. So if I'm crazy, Ben crazy too. We're in two separate sides of town. Ben don't live nowhere near me. He didn't even know my tires were slashed until he was like, oh, my tires were slashed too. When I told him, hey, I'm running a little bit late, someone cut my tires. He like, oh my goodness, someone cut my tires too. That's not a coincidence. But I don't care what you do. You're not going to stop me from telling my truth. The truth, not my truth, the truth. It's a difference for one's truth, because that's going to be whatever you make up in your mind. That's your truth. No, the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And the fact that you can keep on seeing people get brutalized, executed. They're not the judge, jury, and the executioner. They're bringing death right to us for no reason. And all you can come out there and say, you don't sympathize. All you do is pretty much give them a salute. That's what you're doing. You're giving them a salute. Every time they kill us, beat us up, do whatever they do, you're giving them a salute that is okay. It's not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. And we know with this system, y'all walk any and anybody that y'all want to walk to accountability, you walk them there with no problem. David Liffica, I might be saying his last name wrong, but he was the white guy that was in the county that shot police officers that y'all took a couple of days, not a day, but a couple of days to bring him with not a scratch. In a love story, the way y'all pretty much arrested him and said, oh my goodness, he was out there and it was so cold outside. He didn't have a scratch, he didn't get pepper sprayed, he didn't get tased, and he shot someone in the face. A cop. A cop. And it's sad that people have mental health crises, but you execute who you want to execute. And it's okay. And the foolishness. And I'm so heated. And the saddest part, it's no justice, it's just us. Because stuff that we're sending to Anthony Brown's office now is bouncing back with, oh, like it's crazy. The foolishness. It makes no sense. And I'm just so upset right now. I was fine. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go have a nice West Wednesday. And I pull up with one of my coworkers. My coworker's zapping out. I'm on my phone trying to send a message to Facebook letting you guys know we're gonna be boots on the ground, we're gonna be a little bit late. I'm not even looking as we're pulling up in my driveway. And she was like, what the bleep? I'm like, what? I look up my whole truck open. Always. It been open since 10 o'clock this morning. And I left my house at 7:50. Make it make sense. But guess what? I don't care what y'all do. It's not going to stop me and my family, my friends from fighting for accountability. And it's crazy that my cousin Tavon Anderson, who was executed a couple years ago by a white serial killer, literally. And then y'all put the court trial the same day that my cousin was executed years ago for another murder. We have someone that is pretty much was executing people in the city. And I think it was somebody that worked for one of y'all. I think it's one of y'all informants that's working for y'all, one of y'all hitters, the ones that y'all saluting. Ain't nobody stupid. Y'all can keep playing these games. But we know who you are. We know what you did. We not going to stop fighting. And I just urge anybody that's going through something right now, even though people may not believe you, but tell the truth. Keep telling the truth. Stand 10 toes down on it, because this system is so dirty and corrupt. They will have the victim looking like they're the predator and the predator looking like the victim. It's disgusting.
That's right.
It is disgusting. Right. It really is. But we're not going to stop. And I really feel sorry. And I'm praying for the family of the latest victim that was murdered yesterday. I'm even praying for the victim that even was shot that did not pass away. Thank God. But it seems like this random thing. What, we're going to have another week like we had that week when y'all killed the old woman in her home, Miss Pamela, where Dante was murdered. Well, we're gonna have another week like that, and we supposed to just, and y'all gonna pretend like y'all doing something. I'm tired of the foolishness. Cause what y'all do is y'all justice delayed is justice denied. But y'all play us like y'all doing something. Just like we sitting around now waiting to see what y'all gonna do now that y'all did my brother's case of murder. We know it was murder. Y'all ain't telling me nothing that I didn't know. That's why I dug in my pocketbook and got out $50,000. That's why I turned down hush money. Because I always and always want accountability, not a paycheck. Accountability, not a paycheck. And I'm going to say it again, accountability, not a paycheck. Because none of the money in the world, all the money in the world cannot bring our loved ones back. But let's be crystal clear. When you kill someone, the family does deserve compensation. Don't get it twisted. Because if you took my brother who was a provider for his kids, and he never got a chance to meet some of his grandbabies. So you owed his kids money. Y'all owed this money. We taxpayers. You taking our money that we pay taxes with, and you're sitting up there trying to shut us up with our own damn money. Make it make sense. It don't. But we're going to keep on fighting, y'all. We're going to keep telling the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And worthless Wooly, you need to be ashamed of yourself. That's why we out here. You need to be ashamed of yourself. The way you come into the media every time your gang members attack. When your gang members attack, you're cool with it. It's not cool. Because at the end of the day, anyone can get brutally executed. And no one deserves to be brutally executed or brutalized. Because everybody don't pass away that are brutalized. So I feel sorry for all the victims of police brutality. And with the latest stuff where ICE is happening, I stand in solidarity with all the families that are going through something. This country is in an uproar right now. And I don't care how many trolls online say, oh, what's he talking about? And they be calling people that speak up clowns. No, y'all the clowns. Y'all the trolls online that ain't got to do. We the hard workers. Anytime we work hard, we can go home to our families and relax and cook dinner and be in the warmth of our home. Because we got to come out here and keep it alive. And last but not least, as the nation and the world so-called celebrate or acknowledge Dr. King's birthday yesterday, which is on the 15th, not the 20th, not the 19th, the 15th. But my whole point is, when I saw a documentary that was talking about Dr. King, it really like something just hit me in my soul. That wasn't that long ago. I don't know why they made me thinking this was just back in like the 1800s or stuff like that. No, this was in 1964, 68, not even 64. I'm still trying to take it back. My mind blown. 68. 68. That is ridiculous. And they're trying to take us back to 1968, y'all, in 2026. And if we don't do nothing, we could easily be pushed back there. But we not going for that. No one's going for that. And the crazy part, that's why y'all trying to wipe off truth tellers, leaders, because y'all scared, because we bring peace. Y'all are the problem. And I'll say it again, we bring peace. Y'all are the problem.
Right.
Because Dr. King, him and his friends and leaders, they were getting spit upon, kicked, brutalized, chewed up by dogs, animals, falsely arrested, all type of stuff, just to fight so we can have rights. And now y'all trying to snatch them away, little by little. But guess what? We 10 toes down. We ain't going nowhere. So again, worthless warriors, get your act together. Because you need to be up out of there. They need to fire you. They talk about firing football coaches.
Fire Warley.
Fire Warley. He needs to be gone. He should have never been let in. If what happened, that tragedy that happened in Brooklyn Homes, where he told everybody, stand back. I don't care. Stand back. Don't do nothing. Many a cause. And the celebration that happened every year for a whole decade or longer. This ain't something that he need a crowd. But again, y'all use our pain for y'all gain. And y'all try to say and make the people that live down there feel like, oh no, it's y'all. Y'all are the problem.
Right.
Y'all are the ones throwing all the guns in our communities. Y'all are the ones with all these corrupt police officers breaking the law under the badge. Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the problem. I used to worry about once upon a time the crooks and the robbers. But now I know for a fact the robbers and the crooks are the police. They are the police. And I'll say it again, they are the police.
There you go.
And I feel so sorry for the one or two that take their job serious. I pretty much want to tell you, I would just quit. Find another job. It's not even worth it. If you're really there and you want to make a difference, come on the other side. Come do community work. Come to advocate. You know, do that. Because to be by a gang, a legalized gang, that's the only difference. They're a legalized gang. They get to break the law under the color of the law. That's terrible. That is sad. But again, we ain't going nowhere. Mic check.
Mic check.
You don't gotta. I'm like, do this. I'm like, okay. Just get on. I'm like,
Wait until you hear what I have to say, because I wrote this at like between 4 and 5 this morning, and she literally just said practically everything that's in it, which is crazy. Like, great minds think alike, I guess. I'm going to start with mic check.
Mic check.
And a chant. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless Warley's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless Warley's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless Warley's got to go.
Worthless Warley's got to go.
And I'm opting to speak tonight and as example that not all police brutality victims die. I'm a police brutality survivor. My son is a police brutality survivor. My ex is a police brutality survivor. Autumn Denny, who was shot on Monday, just 2 days ago, is as well. Everyone else is not so lucky, and I use that term loosely. We're not really lucky because there's collateral damage that comes with these incidents. There's relationships that fall apart. There's mental health struggles, things that permeate through your entire life and your entire being that can cause you to lose loved ones to stress, loss of employment because of having to deal with everything that comes with fighting this dirty system. Y'all remember the first time I took the mic? I was so freaking terrified, and you couldn't even hear me. Well, fuck that. I'm not terrified anymore. I'm furious. I'm not quiet anymore, and I never will be again. I was thinking on this situation last night when the news broke, and after so many things were going through my mind that I had to start writing things down, because when I speak on the fly, I tend to forget things. I've come out and ranted and raved. I've testified in city council, at town halls, and submitted masses of testimony to the legislator in Annapolis. But all of this seems to have fallen on deaf ears, despite all of us telling various communities, elected officials, and news organizations what Baltimore City was about to get with the nomination of Richard Worley for commissioner. Every single one of you betrayed us. Betrayed by the city, betrayed the entire city, and betrayed all of the previous victims, survivors, and families of police brutality. I have some questions. Why the hell did we place targets on our backs to testify for police reforms in Annapolis that Jill Carter was brave enough to repeatedly submit legislation for, to do things like repeal LEOBR, protect children from aggressive police tactics without parental consent, and many other things, only to have legislators that are supposed to be our voice amend, water down, and pull the teeth out of comprehensive reforms in order to bend the knee to the mafia, FOP, and their members.
Hey,
Why the hell did we fight for local control for city council and mayor if y'all are just going to sit on your asses while these dangerous hyenas are running amok around our city, maiming and murdering people? My own councilman, Ryan Dorsey, yeah, I'm calling you out, even threw his own constituents under the bus and outed us in the middle of Worley's confirmation hearing, put an even harder target on our backs as we opposed the majority of city council's cowardice, and we were escorted us out of the chambers. Shame. Why did we fight to have police-involved murders being self-investigated and going unprosecuted by the state's attorney's office move to the purview of the state police and the attorney general's office, only to have things remain status quo? No real charges have been brought against any of these deranged, unfit for duty officers who murder someone. The only case that I recall is one where a motor vehicle was involved. Not once has a use of force case been brought against any of these killers. Yeah. If that was any of us, we'd have already been awaiting trial or convicted. This is wrong on so many levels, and we've been playing by the rule book set forth by a corrupted system of government bent on covering up these killings. During my adulthood living in Baltimore, the various mayors have changed commissioners so often, and it's normally because of high crime rates. I'll tell you that the mark of a good commissioner is the FOP fucking hates them. And they speak out against them on a regular basis. The only two I can remember in this carousel of clowns, as I like to call it, whom the FOP constantly griped about were Bielfeld, a long time ago, and Harrison, Worley's predecessor. I have recently found out Harrison left his post because he was being handcuffed from doing anything about these dirty cops infecting the BPD. Yet you never hear any dissent against Worley from the FOP or any other officer. He's a dirty police officers commissioner, just like he was dirty police officers commander in the Northeast District.
That's right.
While it was the deadliest district in Baltimore City. When it came to police brutalizing and or murdering citizens. We told y'all all of this before he was confirmed. We told Brandon Scott. We told City Council. We told various communities and town halls, taking our own safety into our hands by doing so. While we were at these town halls, 2 members of this very coalition had their tires slashed. This is only one example of the terrorism tactics BPD uses against people fighting against and being vocal about their tactics. I can list some more. How about mail tampering, stalking, bogus tickets? They will go after your family members, they will go after your children, and they will stop at nothing.
That's hard.
Who do we have to go to about terrorist police? We've gone to City Council, the mayor, the state's attorneys, the attorney general. Some of us have sued, but those payments come out of taxpayer money, not police money. One thing that I personally haven't done is make demands. So here I go. I'm calling for the immediate firing of worthless Worley.
There you go.
I am calling for the mayor and city council to do their fucking jobs, utilize the power we fought for them to obtain, and force more robust investigations of corrupted and killer cops and their worthless commissioner. I am calling for the city council to come up with another way to pay out claims for lawsuits filed against BPD in the city, to not use taxpayer money, but make them obtain a liability insurance like doctors have to do. I'm calling for the defunding of BPD, who for God knows how long have devoured billions, with a B, billions of dollars, and constitutes the largest portion of the city budget. I'm calling for more robust mental health services with a mobile unit that is properly trained and staffed to handle de-escalation of these type of occurrences. BPD's idea of de-escalation is tasing someone and having their guns drawn upon arrival at a scene. If you are in a mental health crisis and are already agitated, how is jolting a person with however many volts of electricity and pointing a loaded firearm going to de-escalate anything? That's like throwing grease on a fire. If PPD was serious about how to properly handle these things, they should do unarmed ride-alongs with paramedics and the fire department who have never been accused of assaulting nor murdering anyone.
Nor raping, nor robbing, and all the stuff they did.
Enough is enough. If you've heard one of these stories, you've heard them all. Across this nation, if you're paying attention, you'll come to realize there is some kind of law enforcement playbook that they all follow.
It is.
You hear the same things over and over. I feared for my life. They were trying to use the vehicle as a weapon. They were resisting. All of this boils down to two things: villainizing the victim and placing the blame on anyone but themselves. There is no other employer that would allow murder, mayhem, and misconduct to go unchecked and properly investigated and participate in an active cover-up that occurs with law enforcement agencies. This includes police, ICE, Homeland Security, the FBI, CIA, DEA, all of them. They're placed above the law and are therefore lawless and killed with reckless abandon. One last demand, and then I'll shut up. I demand that the state legislature in Annapolis put forth some kind of legislation and pass into law protections for citizens against aggressive and often lethal policing. Citizens need tools to utilize that are actually functional and do as they are intended. Everything we fought for thus far has been impotent and failed to produce any meaningful reforms, protections, or changes for the betterment and safety of our society. Last year, crime statistics went down all across this country by all measurements in all categories except one: police murdering people. That's on the rise. There's your crime that you should be fighting. Do your jobs. We've already utilized every peaceful tactic that we've been afforded. We've run out of options because none of you, not Mayor Scott, not City Council, not Ivan Bates, not Anthony Brown, and none of the folks we've sent to Annapolis or Washington, D.C. have had the courage to do the right thing. You all are no better than the complicit folks backing the fascist regime in D.C. You listen to a minority in the FOP lobbyists and decide to take money over your constituents.
That's hard.
That needs to end, because I don't know how much longer we can remain peaceful. Peace has gotten us nowhere and given us nothing but the dog and pony show. Mic check.
Mic check.
All right, anybody else want to come up? Come on, Kalita.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I just want to echo what both Adina and Tawanda have said regarding the police. They're not here to serve and protect or speaking to the choir, but just a reminder that when we want accountability, it's not going to come from them. They're not built for that. They're not going to change themselves, reform themselves, to take any kind of responsibility for the murder of our loved ones and our communities, not just here, but abroad in other states, other countries around the world, because it is an organized, legitimized crime syndicate. They work in tandem with politicians. They work in tandem with politicians. They're not here to maintain law and order for us. It's as long as they have the control, the power, and the terror that keeps us in fear, that they keep their power. And that's why I do believe we have to keep fighting back. We have to keep coming out and showing support and solidarity, just like what we've been seeing, an uproar against ICE, terror, all abroad, all across the board. People are fed up. People want to stand up and do something, because living in fear is not sustainable. Living in fear does not help us grow. Living in fear does not get us a life where we feel peaceful, where we feel happy and secure. And all the claims that they want to make about immigrants, about people being violent and needing to be taken out for the safety of this country is again another lie, another fabrication to justify their terror on workers across the board in the US. It's a lie that they have used since the founding of this country, which is why, again, fighting against racism, fighting against ICE terror, fighting against police murder is an all hands on deck job.
Yes.
For all of us around, all of us need to be out, if we can, supporting those who are putting their lives on the line, supporting those who are keeping people's names alive, supporting those who are putting all their talents and resources and efforts into calling out the terror of ICE, calling out the terror of a fascist regime, calling out the terror of a capitalist system that wants all of us separated and divided as individuals. Seeing that if we are together, if we are collective, if we show our own strength against them, they don't have any true power. It's, again, an illusion. So in honor of Renee, in honor of George Floyd, in honor of Tyrone West, in honor of all victims of both police and ICE, we have to stand up and fight back. And I personally take that fight on with the West Coalition, with other organizations in Baltimore, but primarily for myself as a communist, calling for a violent revolution. Peace does not get us anywhere, but again, continuing the roller coaster, the cause and effect that keeps us chained down and keeps us without any kind of true change. We see uprisings, we see revolutions around the world where other people are in much dire conditions than us here within the US. We see people, youth especially, calling out their truly oppressive regimes around the world. But again, without having a collective organized effort, fighting all capitalists, we can't have a world that's truly safe. For us, it is revolution that is needed. For us, it is taking power, workers' power. That's what we need. And I believe we can only do that with violence, but collective coordination. It cannot be on an individual level because they take us out way too easily. As we've seen with activists and community members, that they disappear, that they jail, that they kill. Again, I believe peace cannot get us far. Peace gets us back in the same stage of saying the same things over again. And again, we need action, we need movement. We need action, we need movement. And I believe that comes with violent revolution because it's not just going to be Trump putting out more ICE agents. It's going to be the next president, if they allow for another one. It's going to be the next commissioner with any kind of ideas or illusions. They're going to keep up those efforts. They're going to keep us boxed in and chained down. And we can't keep going through this. This is another cycle. And we don't need any more of these cycles of terror. We need to stand up and work together for an actual revolution. And I believe that is fighting for communism worldwide, and not just for us, but for all those who've been oppressed historically, and especially under a capitalist system that is bolstered by the US. Mic check.
All right, anybody else? We're up here, Wanda.
Donna, it just irritated me when I see two police officers jump out pretty much an unmarked vehicle, tinted out. I'm talking about tinted out, past 5% tints. But yet they'll pull us over and say, "Oh, you got to take the tint off your window." You can't even see it. Can't even see them. You can't even see them. And I can only imagine a brother that's riding, or a sister, because they ain't just killing our brothers. They're killing our sisters. They're killing our sons, daughters, and all that. But could you imagine being a citizen, just driving down the street, and they pull up in a big fancy truck with tinted out windows? You don't even know you're being pulled over. You don't even know you're being pulled over. It's the same stuff. And they keep on, all they doing, like, she said enough. And I'm not a communist. I'm not a communist at all. I'm just an average citizen fighting this corrupt system. And the thing I love about West Wednesday, the West Coalition, is we have different people with different beliefs and different backgrounds, but we come together for one purpose, and that's just to pretty much uplift these victims' names and try to stop it, put a stop to it. And I'm trying to put a stop to it as peacefully as possible, because I always believe in love. That's what has me here. That's what has me grounded. Love. That's why when I was upset tonight, love brought me back. Love brought me back. The fact that we're out here, y'all could have been with your families, but we are family. We're out here together and we're raising our voices. We're not raising weapons. We're not being violent. We're not turning up nothing. We never had. Over 4,564 days, y'all. That's a long time to be peacefully doing anything. And that's all we have been doing. But we've not been getting any results. It's like it's been set on the back porch somewhere, like trash. That's just how I feel. That's why I say we need to knock it down, build it back up. Because enough is enough. How many more? Like all they doing is playing games. They have meetings that they say, oh, we're gonna have this town hall meeting, and you guys' opinion, we're gonna take back your thoughts. They already know what they're gonna do, and they already know what they're not gonna do. It's the meeting before the meeting that we don't know about. The damn dog and pony show.
That's right.
That's all it's been. And I'm sick of it. It's just too much. It's just way too much. And like I said, my cousin Tavon Anderson was executed, literally, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'm sorry, because time is flying because we're in 2026 now. But 6 years ago, executed. That was see, I mean, I'm sorry. I take that back. Okay. It was 5 years ago, but it's still long. But 5 years ago, my cousin was executed by Everett Swart. Everett Swart, who they're hiding in the system under what's his name? What's the name that they hide him under? Everett Swart. Patrick Wheeler. They're hiding him under Patrick Wheeler. You're hiding a white serial killer. A white serial killer. I'll say it again. A white serial killer that murdered my cousin on the same night that I was on the news about Killer Ruiz and all his corruption, the gun trace task force. And then literally a half an hour, my cousin that was out there on the front line that was holding up a sign was murdered by this white boy that they're hiding. They're hiding. They're sick.
They are.
They are sick. Sick. Nobody covers on. They don't want the truth. But again, I'll stand on the truth. I'll call out the truth. I'm never going to sell my soul. And that's the difference. See, what they're doing, they're lying. With a lie changes. You don't even remember what you say. I've been standing on truth.
There you go. There you go.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Since 2013, y'all. Ain't never changed nothing. Even though the numbers changed, because we was unclear. And it said, I still really don't know. You talking about 652 days. I still don't know the accurate number of how many people murdered my unarmed brother. Literally. They were saying it was up to 20. At first we heard in the news it was like 10 to 11. That's way too many. One unarmed man. Hercules couldn't survive that. And I'm just saying this to say, if we don't do something, guess what? Nothing's going to get done. There is no justice. It's just us. They just try to throw stuff out there to collude our minds, but they really not doing nothing. It'll seem like it's a big something, then they just go away because they want us to go away. Heard about it last year. Oh, they investigating the medical examiner's office. Tyrone West case was deemed a murder. Ooh! Oh yeah, we've been saying that. Okay, what? We ain't still hearing nothing else. So now what you want to let another 10 years go by before y'all do something? It's disgusting, y'all. But again, we're not standing behind lies, even though we stand on different opinions about things sometimes. But one thing for sure, and two things for certain. We believe that nobody deserves to be brutalized, nobody deserves to be brutally murdered, and we need to put an end to it.
There you go.
We're doing it in peace and love. We can't come up with nothing else. We can come to the table with that. Any family is dysfunction. They have one uncle saying one thing, one cousin saying another. But one thing we will all say, cell blocks for killer cops.
Yep.
Check.
So anybody else want to say anything?
The news reported today, when they were reporting on the killing last night. Today is January 21st, and Baltimore City Police, not just police in Maryland, Baltimore City Police have already shot 3 people.
Shame.
Like one a week.
Shame. Disgusting. So how many more? So you get the community crime level down, which, by the way, and this is not the West Coast today, and you know what I was going to say. This Tawana Jones. Stop them, put this to the side so y'all won't get nobody feeling, oh, that's the West Coast. This Tawana Jones speaking. My whole point of what I'm trying to say before I forgot what I was getting ready to say, and I was so serious that I lost my train of thought that fast. But but what I was trying to say is great comeback, y'all. Give me 1 second. It's been a long day.
Take your
And when
time.
my trunk was popped, that just like did something. But my whole point of what I was trying to say, you cannot make up the stuff that they're doing. The stuff is real. Like nobody can make this stuff up. Like I know it sounds crazy. Like some of the stuff, and then like even before I got pulled into this, because this is a club nobody signs up. But when I used to hear stuff, I'm not even gonna lie, not thinking I was better than nobody. I thought that people really had like mental health issues or like they was going through something psychological trauma because of what was happening to them, and I felt sorry for them. But when you get pulled in it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. They weren't lying about people messing with your mail and people messing with your car, cut your top. Like, what's going on? And then you see what they were saying. So before you get in this club, just listen to us. Be your own conscious consumer. When you hear stuff, don't just believe in media. Do your own research. And I guarantee you'll find out stuff and you'll look at stuff differently. I guarantee you. That's all you got to do. Do your own research. If they thought a narrative, they still got the same narrative all these years that my brother pretty much had a bulge of drugs in his socks. And he got combative when they asked him about when Killer Ruiz and Chapman asked him about his bulge of drugs that he had because he didn't want to go back to jail. He was in fear. So he said, y'all gonna take me back for some measly drugs? And he got combative. And then he was super Negro. He was super Negro, and then he even had drugs in his system. So now he's extra crazy, and now he's throwing cops on top of cops. He's doing all type of crazy stuff. No, man, that's not what happened. That's not far away from the truth. This was an unarmed man that literally was on his way to go pick up his niece from work. That at the time she was only 16 years old, my oldest daughter. And literally, he got a call that ended his life. That ended his life from a traffic stop. A traffic stop should not end no one's life. Whenever they pull people over, they don't come with the ticket book and a pen. They come out with their weapons drawn. That's not a traffic stop. That's a stop to end your life.
Murder stop.
A murder stop. Let's be crystal clear. It should not be a murder stop in America. So I'm just gonna leave y'all with that. I don't have nothing else to say because we got a long, sad list tonight, unfortunately. And I'm just gonna hand it over. But before I hand it over to Hillary, I'm just gonna say the piece. I'm not gonna read that. Oh, you got any community violence? Oh, we got some names on it because we're not just talking about police brutality. The saddest part that we're seeing is people that do community violence, they don't talk about the police brutality victims. And I'm just gonna say that. They ain't standing out there, on the grounds where police brutality people with they this and that. Yeah, they not. It's 2026. Let's shame the devil. They not. But we here at a police brutality and we're holding up community violence because it's all hand in hand. That's where all these issues run together. The capitalist that my beautiful sister was over there speaking about, knocking it down, building it back. I'm with you, sister. And I ain't even no calmness. I'm with you. Let's knock it down. But I want to do it peacefully. I want to do it peacefully. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just sad. Like the reality of it is. So I just want to say real quick our mission statement. And I don't have it with me. I'm just going to freestyle it. It's the mission of the West Coalition not to just pretty much hold people accountable for the untimely murder of my brother Tyrone West, but we're out here for all the victims of police brutality and murder. Again, I said we have 2 lists tonight. And unfortunately, where we get these lists from are on the local and national outlet. We don't know anything surrounding the deaths of the people that was involved in it. So we could be reading off a serial killer name that might have possibly got killed or unalive. We don't know none of that. But at the end of the day, I believe that no one deserves to be brutally executed, not even a serial killer. Because that's why it should be called a due process of law. If someone breaks the law, let them have their day in court. Let them plead their case. And if they deserve a cell block, put them in a cell block. That's what I believe. I don't believe that they should execute them. And then the stuff that people are dying for is not even worth dying for. A traffic stop, something that you could have got a ticket for. And half the time that they're pulling you over, you can't even get a ticket for that stuff because they're trying to pretty much stereotype you. You ain't even doing. How you gonna say I'm driving too slow towards the stop sign? Make it make sense, but it don't. But we believe the stuff that makes sense, that if you come together and talk about something at mediation, then guess what? That's peace right there. Both of the parties or all of the parties can walk away, even if they agree to disagree. We can all walk away. We don't believe in that because guess what? When you do the ultimate or the unthankful, it leaves all the families sad. Ain't nobody gonna care if it was from a police officer or was from somebody, a neighbor down the street. Their loved one is no longer here anymore. And that changes someone's life forever. But the only difference when there's police brutality, we know who they are, we know what they did, and they if they ever get any time, they get it, or I mean they don't get time, or they'll get a little bit of time. So with that being said, we just here to not disrespect anybody or traumatize anybody. We're just here to highlight all the victims. Because to me, a victim is a victim. But again, we don't have no details or nothing about anyone involved in it. Do anybody have the time right now?
8:19.
8:19. All right, so we're going to come back at 8:21. Can somebody let me know when it's 8:21? So if you're into prayer, say a prayer. If you're just in a peace, just like send peace, love, and healing, because we need it, y'all. We in real time. We talking about possibly coming to a blizzard in Baltimore City, right? And my thing with that, I feel like at least people will be safe, hopefully, in their houses, right? And it shouldn't be that we should be confined in our house to feel safe. We should feel that no matter what. We should feel that no matter what. So again, take these 2 minutes and let's just show respect and love and peace. Thank you so much, Uncle Bill. So the time now is 8:21. Mic check.
Mike check.
Oh, sure. Dan was saying.
I was just sorry, guys. I was just thinking when you said be a consumer, conscious consumer, that some things are just so funky about all this stuff. I saw the initial reports of this murder of this young man last night or 2 nights ago. He's on a bicycle. Apparently, someone reports that he's threatening them with a gun. Let me just wait for this to go through. So he was getting interrupted somehow. And then the initial story is they somehow get him off the bike and they've tackled him and subdued him, but somehow he gets the gun, wrestles the gun away from the officers, because there's multiple officers that show up in the scene, and shoots at them, misses them. They somehow then kill him. And then today, the story was completely different. He's on the bike, literally sounding like he was shooting at them from the bike. no mention of the fact that he had wrestled the gun away. So maybe they couldn't cook it up so that they could prove that he wrestled the gun away. So that's another really good story, that he somehow on his bike is randomly shooting at the police and they kill him. Worley shows up in plain clothes. So what's he doing down in his little house in Roland Park that he has to get up in the middle of the night and can't even get himself dressed for duty? All this stuff it's just so fucking ugly, dirty, funky, corrupt that they can't even get the story straight. And the news station just want to take their story. And how you take that story? So they just write the simplest thing they can because they're probably like, that don't make no fucking sense, but that's all we got to go with.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I just had to say that. You made me think of that.
I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't get any of the details, but I was on when I saw it. I was on I was on Facebook, and then Fox 45 Live came up, and they were saying that they were at a shooting, but you can hear, like, I guess the reporters right there, but you can hear the actual police talking, and they were telling people the cameras and watch out for the bike because somebody almost tripped over the bike, but you can hear them loudly talking over the thing, and next thing you know, they say, "Oh my goodness, epic, he's dead." And as soon as they said that, everything they must have said, "Be quiet," and they muted, and literally everything stopped. So at that moment they're like, "Be quiet, you're saying too much," or the cameraman must have said, "Oh my goodness, we're on live. Like, I'm actually videoing. You must have gave an eye like we're video." And they probably said, "Cut it," and they cut, and I couldn't hear no sound or nothing. But again, it's funky. It is all a lie. And that's the same thing that they did with Anthony Anderson. They said that he ingested some drugs, like he had swallowed some drugs, and that's what, and none of that happened. They even said the same thing. They got Bill Henry. You can't make this up. Bill Henry at the time, because we confronted him. Because we said, "Why would you say that my brother ingested some drugs?" He said, "Look, I didn't know. They just pulled me out the bed in the middle of the night." That's what they did to Worthless Woolley. He said, "They pulled me out the bed in the worthless. They pulled me." I'm thinking about Worthless Woolley. They are worthless. But they pulled me out the bed in the middle of the night and gave me a statement and told me we were doing a press conference to read this. And he said, "I didn't even know who the brother was or nothing. I was reading the statement." And it was just like what Adina said when she was reading, that they'll read from this script. But yeah, thank you for putting that on. I didn't even know. Thank you. I appreciate you, Dan. Mic check.
Mic check.
My check.
Mic check.
This is my first time speaking at West Wednesday. I just want to relate the whole system, which is killing the citizens of Baltimore and United States and everyone around the world, basically, on the streets, innocent people or workers. The same system is doing the same around the world, and we know what they're doing in Gaza. They're killing people, and it's fully supported by the same system, which is doing the same thing over here on a larger scale. So the only solution that's going to solve the problem around the world and in this country is to smash this capitalist system, to smash the system and replace it with communist system, with communism. That's the only system which is going to bring the justice to the world. My check.
Mic check.
But again, we all have that's the beauty of this. And again, that was another, he never spoke before. He's another communist. We're not communists. And some of us are, some of us not. But I'm not, and most of the West Coalition not. But again, and I believe, and one thing I can agree, we do need to smash this capitalist system. We need to smash it and trash it. Mic check.
Mic check.
For speaking, I was powerful. Mic check.
Mic check.
All right, it's all yours, Brother Brian.
Anybody else?
Like, do I go now?
All right. Yeah, one of the things I do with the West Coalition is I bring out the names of the people here in Baltimore who died by homicide this week, or well, in the most recent time span. And you know, I just ask us to remember, like I always say, each of these people is the whole world. Each of these people has a mother and a father, sisters, brothers, friends, co-workers. 1,000 people for each of these names is a thousand injuries in our community. And so we lift their names up in solidarity with their lives, in solidarity with their friends and their neighbors and their loved ones, and just as a way of dedicating ourselves to ending the violence and the pain in our city and in our world. And so I just ask you to echo these back. Davon Johnson.
Davon Johnson.
Centrant Lynn.
Centrant Lynn.
Trayvon Matthews.
Trayvon Matthews.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, I'm tasked with beginning our national list of victims of police brutality. One of the things I noticed looking at it today is there are people on it whose names I recognize from ICE killings. So understand that the national list that we don't come up with ourselves, that we get from another news outlet, lists the people who are, some of the people who were killed by ICE agents. So there is a connection that people are seeing between local police and ICE. And we need to be aware of this. We also need to remember that every person on this list has a family and a community and people that are mourning them. So we've got 42 names. I'm going to do half of them, and then Clea's going to do the other half. So please repeat them back to me and send love and light to all of these families. You know, I totally agree with Tawanda that we need to work from a place of love, because peacefulness and love makes us not like those who are hurting us.
That's true.
Coming from a place of peace and love means that we are not acting like those police and those officers and those militaristic people who are trying to hurt us. Okay, so this is from the period from January 1st through January 16th. So on January 1st in Chandler, Arizona, 41-year-old male, Gerald Lee Filippo.
Gerald Lee Filippo.
On January 1st in Fairbanks, Arkansas, 24-year-old male, William Rexford.
William Rexford.
On January 2nd, thank you. On January 2nd, in Everett, Washington, 30-year-old male, Yancey Carcamo.
Yancey Carcamo.
On January 2nd, in Cadillac, Michigan, 57-year-old male, Charles Stewart.
Charles Stewart.
On January 2nd, in Bakersfield, California, a male whose age is not known, but whose name is Jerry Steele.
Jerry Steele.
On January 4th, in East St. Louis, Illinois, 40-year-old female, Rachel Terrence.
Rachel Terrence.
On January 4th, in Dubuque, Iowa, 28-year-old male, Jai Lovely.
Jai Lovely.
On January 5th, in Piscataway, New Jersey, 28-year-old male, Jordan Barnes.
Jordan Barnes.
On January 6th, in Leesburg, Virginia, 30-year-old male, Connor Pizzer.
Connor Pizzer.
On January 6th, in Las Vegas, Nevada, 44-year-old male, Justin Walsh.
Justin Walsh.
On January 6th, in Ypsilanti, Michigan, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Watch the killer cops. Ashe.
On January 6th, in Phoenix, Arizona, 40-year-old male, Vincent Serta.
Vincent Serta.
On January 6th, in North Little Rock, Arkansas, 49-year-old male, Charles Wigington.
Charles Wigington.
On January 7th, in Victoria, Texas, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Watch the killer cops. Ashe.
On January 7th, in Cotajili, if I'm saying it right, New Mexico, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Watch the killer cops. Ashe.
And on January 7th, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 37-year-old female, Renee Good.
Renee Good.
On January 7th, in Hinsdale, Massachusetts, 27-year-old male, Biagio Coville.
Biagio Coville.
On January 7th, in Villa Plata, Louisiana, 24-year-old male, Dylan Savoy.
Dylan Savoy.
On January 7th, in Bardstown, New York, 80-year-old male, Norman Perkins.
Norman Perkins.
Shame on his.
On January 8th, in New York, 37-year-old male, Dimitri Zas.
Dimitri Zas.
On January 8th, in Brooklyn, New York, 62-year-old male, Michael Lynch.
Michael Lynch.
Again, we are reading the names of those violently taken away from us by both ICE and killer cops nationally in the UN. Continuing, again in New York, New York, on the 8th, a 37-year-old male, apologies. Still on the 8th, but in Kahului, Hawaii, a 40-year-old male, Christopher Austin.
Christopher Austin.
Again on the 8th, in Brooklyn, New York, 62-year-old male, Michael Lynch.
Michael Lynch.
Sorry, I wasn't clear about the order of the
Too many names.
It is too many names. In Georgia, in Granville, Georgia, 39-year-old male, Daniel Olson.
Daniel Olson.
Again on the 9th, in Cedar Hill, Texas, 29-year-old male, Gage Harvey.
Gage Harvey.
On the 9th, in Wildersville, Tennessee, 26-year-old male, Bradley Condor.
Bradley Condor.
In Vernon, Florida, on the 9th, 27-year-old male, Joshua Hare.
Joshua Hare.
On the 10th, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 40-year-old male, James Littoral.
James Littoral.
Again on the 10th, in Gastonia, North Carolina, 43-year-old male, Derek Manigault.
Derek Manigault.
On the 11th, in Houston, Texas, 29-year-old male, Larry Menifee Jr.
Larry Menifee Jr.
On the 11th, in Euclid, Ohio, 37-year-old male, Robert Riddlebarger.
Robert Riddlebarger.
On the 11th, in Danville, Kentucky, 29-year-old male, Cody Downey.
Cody Downey.
On the 11th, in Lake Isabella, California, 39-year-old male, Fernando Padilla.
Fernando Padilla.
On the 12th, in Wichita, Kansas, 32-year-old male, Trey J. Holden.
Trey J. Holden.
On the 13th, in Alamogordo, New Mexico, 41-year-old male, Anthony Blalock.
Anthony Blaylock.
On the 13th, in Longwood, Florida, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell block and killer cop. Ashe.
On the 13th, in Palmdale, California, 25-year-old male, Christopher Reynoso.
Christopher Reynoso.
On the 14th, in St. James City, Florida, 37-year-old male, Alex Jordan.
Alex Jordan.
On the 14th, in Gainesville, Florida, 31-year-old male, Justin Long.
Justin Long.
On the 14th, in Springerville, Arizona, again a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell block and killer cop. Ashe.
On the 15th, in Channelview, Texas, a male whose age is 50 but whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell block and killer cop. Ashe.
On the 15th, in Atlanta, Georgia, a 29-year-old male, Travis Harris.
It is Harris.
For our final name that we'll be upholding tonight, on the 16th, in Welton, Arizona, we do not know the gender, the age, and the name was withheld by police.
Cell block and killer cop. Ashe.
Ashe, back to you.
On December 31st, 2025, in Los Angeles, California, Keith Porter.
Keith Porter.
Now we're done.
There's nobody's talking about Keith Porter that was killed by ICE agents. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to thank each and every last one of y'all for coming out, supporting, and thanks for y'all tuning in and watching online. And for the eye spies that don't mean us no good, keep watching. Because we not going to stop until killer cops are in cell block. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless world has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless warriors got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Worthless warriors got to go.
Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Worthless warriors got to go.